How
not funny.
Not
you want dinner?
funny. That's it.
Make jokes.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot emphasize this strongly enough.
Can't.
The meds kicked in. This is the show.
Indeed it is.
And I am Matthew Porter, and that...
I am Jeremy Birdsall.
Jeremy
Hello.
Birdsall. Unrelated completely. I've been experimenting with mushrooms, Jeremy.
Side note. Psilocybin note.
Yeah, well,
pal.
That's a statement that deserves a follow-up clarifying statement.
Oh, I'm
Not the kind of mushrooms where you wake up with no clothes and realize Burning Man wrapped up a week ago.
right. Shoot, yeah.
Not those kinds of mushrooms. They make mushrooms coffee.
Yeah.
Have you tried?
No, Facebook has tried to spam me with it.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're going to be interested in I prefer my mushrooms on a pizza,
They have mushrooms for focus and mushrooms for energy.
Yeah.
Mushroom, everything except delicious taste. There's no, apparently, there's no mushroom for that.
Oh,
But-
okay. So I got to throw this in there.
Yeah.
So in my family, I've my wife's parents and her sister, our nephews, that kind of extended family. They all like pizza, and her dad, Lynn's dad, and me, we are the ones that will eat mushrooms. The rest of them are either mushroom agnostic or they are
Anti-mushroom.
violently anti.
That's harsh.
Yeah. So what happens is we'll get a pizza, and Ray's got a little stash of mushrooms. And
Yes.
Be like, hey, you want a little something on the side? We make our own little whatever.
Yes.
And so when Simeon and Seth, my nephews, were really young, they Pap would be making a pizza.
Yes.
And at one point, he'd make them a pizza, and there's mushrooms on it because he's trying to teach the children.
Yes. This is the way.
Yeah, exactly. And teach them well and let them lead the way.
That's it.
Show them the beauty they possess inside,
So to speak.
as it were. And at one point, Seth, being a little guy, I mean, he's probably 3 years old. Pap is like, here you go, Seth. Here's your pizza. And he's like, no froggies, Pap. No froggies.
No froggies.
So that's
Yes.
So that's what we say in the family. So
Froggies.
my joke is me and Pap are going to start a sports bar and call it Froggies.
Froggies.
And then we're just going to sell mushroom everything.
So, continuing this unplanned topic further.
This is very random. I love it.
I very recently realized there used to be a topping. Let's see if you can think what I'm talking about. There's jokes about it, and it used to be, must have been a ubiquitous topping on pizzas. You never hear of this anymore.
Anchovies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anchovies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never had an anchovy. I put it on the wife's little Walmart list, and she's like, did you put
You did not.
can
You
of anchovies on our list? I'm like, yes, I did. I gotta.
Okay.
I like foods, and I'm like, it's a whole little fish. I'm like, okay.
Oh, this
not,
is exciting.
Not. It's a little bit of a mental hump to get over. You're like, this is too much personality.
There's eyeballs there.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a whole thing. And so I tried it.
Yeah, and?
Oh, yeah.
Flavor experience.
It's a little
isn't
salt bomb.
it? It is.
I'm like, okay, now the mind is reeling. What if I mush these little guys up in like scrambled eggs? Instead of salting it, you get a little salty umami. Come on. Has anybody tried this before? That would be great.
All right, so you're first of all, congratulations on entering into a new world. I know exactly what you're talking about. There was a time when we were coming up in the world. You go to Godfather's Pizza.
Hold the anchovy.
Yeah,
That was
right.
a joke.
And you just go to the pizza place, and it was an option a lot of times. And then it wasn't. And I don't recall when there was, because it wasn't a thing I was choosing to put on my pizza.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. It wasn't a thing I chose to put on a pizza, nor did I think I ever tried it until I worked at an Italian restaurant in Miami where, God bless them, they taught you everything, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to serve this until you taste it, because someone's going to ask you at the table, and they're going to say, "What is this like?" And you're going to have to tell them what it's like.
Baby fish.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was gross. You have to speak intelligently about it. Also, they want you to sell it. So what I learned real quickly was the reason Caesar salad with Caesar dressing tastes so good is anchovy paste is a key ingredient.
Yes.
And to get it without the anchovies was like an act of God to even get that to happen.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So a lot of people have had anchovies and they didn't know it because it was in their Caesar dressing. Anyways, how exciting. And so have you tried that?
I have not gotten to the experimenting. Experimenting is the emerging theme here. No, I have not. But I'm excited to try that. I'm the only food experimental person, and my prophet is not regarded in his own country.
You know, that
right?
is, yeah.
So
you're doing things, and Stephanie is maybe looking at you with the side eye, but the kids are like, no.
A couple will try things, I will say, but
that's nice.
But they're not, going nuts on their own. But yeah, the tiny little fish it reminds me of a time I ordered baby octopus at like a sushi place.
Oh, sure.
And I'm like, okay, that'll be, a tender little chunk of food. No. I thought it would be some amorphous hunk of, it shows up a little Pixar character.
It's a baby octopus.
It's a little bubble head.
Yeah.
And little baby things, and it is strapped to something. You're like, this is some sort of dark, looks like should be in some FBI photos. This is a crime scene on a plate. And I'm like, that's just got too much personality for me.
Right.
I'm about to eat something that had dreams, And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me get that. Here we go. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, let's go. So,
this episode brought to you by People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
Yes,
PETA, ladies and gentlemen.
So once I tried it, I'm like, yeah, delicious. It's great.
So same thing, again, same Italian restaurant, calamari, right? They're like, you got to try the calamari. And there's a couple of ways the Italians do it. And this particular restaurant, fries it and breads it and fries it. And so you're like, onion rings. It looks like an onion ring. And then they got the one that's the little, looks like a blooming onion, and it's like just little tentacles and whatever. But
have you tried the fried Kraken? Delicious.
Exactly. And, it's pretty good. And, I tried it and I got used to it. It's pretty good. Then I went to an Italian restaurant here in Orlando. And same thing. I'm like, whoa, calamari. I like calamari. Mm-hmm. So I ordered it. And the way they serve it is like it's an antipasto salad. Like it's a bed of lettuce and onions, tomatoes, and, a little sea creature sitting on the top, topped with balsamic vinegar. And you're like, that just doesn't have the same appeal anymore.
Given the migration from New York to Miami, I bet there's some really great Italian restaurants in Miami.
Yes.
You're like, it's not New York. You're like, it is actually.
In a sense, it was pretty darn good.
Wow.
What a random topic you led us down.
I know. How about
fun.
that? This is
new.
Listen,
so Matthew,
this is jazz, baby.
You and I, we apparently need a food date where we can just experiment in the kitchen and make stuff for us.
Yes.
No one else.
That's a future episode.
I think that sounds
in
great.
The kitchen with Matthew and Jeremy. Well, awesome.
Yes, indeed.
Mazel tov. How are things, man? You just got back from Michigan?
Got back from Michigan.
Beautiful this time of year.
Oh, goodness. It was one of those where like, okay, so we're loading out, show's over, and it's snowing now.
Oof.
So everybody just be ready. So, like wind blowing, the ice, like literally black ice on the pavement. We're like carrying the theatrical props, and they're so big. I'm like catching air. It's like
we lost Jeremy, guys.
So it's like
off in Lake Michigan. Here we go.
So we did that, and now heading out to Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina for this weekend. So
Nice.
My wife and I have come up with a plan of here's the Jeremy pre-travel list and Jeremy post-travel list. Here's all the things that got to get done before you go, and here's the things you do when you get back. And I think we're going to come up with a way that it all makes life real smooth and easy.
And you have this elaborate Byzantine plan that will allow you to get home in time for Easter. You're like Kevin McAllister's mom, going on the moving van.
Oh, yeah.
And this and that.
But, yeah, so this will air right after Easter.
Mm-hmm.
But the plan will be, I'm coming home on Easter Sunday, which is a trip. And I'm just saying this right now. I don't actually have a ride from the airport back to my house. So we're still working on some. Yes, anybody wants to pick up Jeremy,
drop it in the comments here.
Orlando International Airport. That'd be great.
Do me a solid, bro. Nice. Well, you have something you want to talk about, but I also had an idea too.
Go ahead.
So I think the scientific thing to do is rock, paper, scissors it.
That seems legit. Okay,
yeah.
Ready?
So it's 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yes.
Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, rock beats scissors. All right, so it's your call.
Okay. So one of the things that we've found that is so much fun about this show is that we talk about random nonsense that's happened in our weeks, and somehow one or the other of us turn it into a giant existential conversation about life and things of some import. All right, so as you may know, I write music for various clients, and sometimes they're TV people, and I have several briefs that come across my email inbox. A lot of them are, let's just say, like, hey, you want to take a shot at this? And I'm like, no. No, thank you. Pass. And a lot of times when, in those contexts, it's kind of like, hey, man, if you already got something like this in your hard drive that your workload will be copy, paste, upload, hey, let me know.
Yeah.
It's 30 seconds out your life. So a lot of times I look at that, I'm like, no, I don't have any polka in my hard drive, but thanks. Don't have any mariachi, it's just not what I have. But this one came across, and there's been a handful of opportunities that have come across my desk that I maybe could have just done it myself. But my nephews are also musicians and both, producers and writers, and Simeon and Seth have found their own little lanes, right? Simeon is a good rapper. He writes lyrics well, he flows well, and he's fun and funny. Seth is a good producer. He can whip out a hip hop track in a couple of hours, and so, anyways, he's got his own little setup at the house, and they can do their thing. So I have kind of looped them into when I see something that I think might be in their lane.
Yeah,
I just tell them, I'm like, hey, this is a real opportunity. There's a real deadline. There's real money if you get it. I don't know if you will, but you want to take a shot at it, and they've done it. We've done.
Uncle Jeremy will take a modest 15% for management.
I may or may not.
I'm being upfront about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do have those conversations, and I even say, look, if I got to do some actual work here, I'm part of this thing, but mostly I'm trying to give them, like, to show them.
Yeah, this is how it works.
This is not just. We talked about this last week. It's not just a hobby I'm doing here. Some people actually can make money at this, and you could be one of those people, two of those people, if you really want it.
Yeah.
Here's how we do. So anyways, one came down the pipe 2 weeks ago, and it was like checking all the boxes.
No kidding.
It was an NBA team who shall remain nameless again until something happens, because, this actually could happen for them.
Wow.
Looking for walk-on music.
Wow.
To be aired. And this was like such good detail in a brief that you're like, well, this is a real opportunity.
Yeah.
Actual NBA team looking for actual walk-on music. Here's an actual budget. And they even say the usage will be in the arena.
Yeah.
For walk-on music.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, wow, that's neat. What a neat thing. And then they kind of say the style they're looking for. They tell you real specifics. So I sent it to them. I'm like, guys, Yeah, seems like your jam. You guys like the basketball. You like the hip hop. And what do you think? By the way, deadline is March 31st.
TikTok.
I'm available, but also I'm busy. So I'm here to consult. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
I can write if you want, but I'm not going to do this for you. I'm too busy to do this one. But if you want, please go do it and I'll help.
Yes.
And so all of this is to say this is what happened. And so I'm trying to show them the way. Like this is how you turn a fun hobby into an actual thing.
Right.
That could pay you. So today, here we are at Key Life Network, by the way, doing what we do, doing our work.
Yes.
And I'm texting them like, guys, the song is done. Have we got lyrics yet? Have we got the vocals yet?
No.
Because I'm now, all I can do is kind of text you. I can't do any more work now. The deadline is 1 p.m. Eastern.
Oh.
And for those of you playing the home game, hi, Mom. It's after 1 p.m.
Yes.
This is now past tense.
Yes.
Either they do, and I was like, okay, we've now gone beyond, Uncle Jer's going to help you. Well, kids, either you figured out who to email it to or you didn't. Because I didn't even touch that. All the other ones I had sort of, you did your thing, I'll do my thing. And I'll just send it off like an adult and be like, put a little bow on it. No, this was like, guys.
On you.
Yeah, you either did it or you didn't do it.
So do we know? Do we know if...
I'm
hooked now.
I know, right? So according to them, they finished recording. I haven't even heard it.
Yeah.
But apparently they recorded a bunch of vocals and hype tracks and things and mixed it. Apparently Seth mixed it himself and delivered it. I don't know what it sounds like.
Wow. You got to bring it to us as soon as we can.
Right. I know. So we'll see what happens. But all that is to say, what is your experience as a parent of trying to do that kind of thing? How to encouraging by exposing them to here's the good of the creative and this can just be a fun release for you and your brain, but also this could be a real thing that becomes a vital part of your life.
Yeah.
So all that to say, how do you do that? And have you had the experience of what I had today, which was the letting go? Welp, if this is a dumpster fire,
it's your dumpster.
It's your dumpster, and I've done what I can, and it's not the end of the world, but it's like it felt a little weird to let go like that.
And if it's a dumpster fire, don't tell them you know me.
It's like, my name's not on that, right?
Uncle Jeremy's got a rep, so
that's right. Yeah,
don't pull me into this.
Actually, true. It's my name's not on there at all.
That's a great.
Actually, they probably submitted it as
CC
hype song.
Jeremy.
Uncle Jeremy and the Nephews is the name of the band.
I would listen to that. I'm getting like a Chipmunks vibe. Simeon!
That's okay. That's really accurate.
You're supposed to be dropping bars. You got it, Unc.
Oh, they're going to be so excited to see this. They didn't know they were going to be featured today.
We did not agree to
Tune
this.
in next week when you find out who we're going to do it unto.
That's right.
As Steve says.
I am in the thick of this right now because I
figured you would be.
I have our oldest two of four. One next year will be a senior. And then next year the next oldest will be a junior. So we're really getting into college, career, calling, life skills.
It starts coming at you fast.
It really does. And in the last couple of years, they have gotten into theater, acting.
Yeah.
Never pushed any of that stuff on them. I've been, writing, directing, producing for 30 years. They're aware that Daddy does stuff, and we've made little videos for school projects and stuff. They had one on Vietnam, and I added stuff, where it looks like the kids are shooting machine guns, and somebody gets hit, and the blood goes pew. I'm like, we're gonna not be invited back to the school next year. But so far so good. But I've really never pushed them anything towards show business or any because it's so hard. It's such a hard But if that's what you're called to in some kind of capacity, you gotta. So anyhow,
Yeah.
So the one part is, them figuring out what makes them feel alive, and I've told mostly with my son, I've gone like 3 circles, and I didn't think of this, but you think of a Venn diagram, 3 circles, and then there's sections where 2 overlap and 2 overlap, and then where all 3 overlap, and that's very tiny.
Yeah.
And that is, what you like to do is 1 circle. What you are good at, separate things. I love singing. God did not make me a singer. What you love to do, what you're good at, and where there's a need.
Yeah.
Where people need this thing.
Yeah.
So,
Japanese have a concept called ikigai, which is there's 4 circles, and it's what you love to do, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can actually get paid to do.
Right.
And if you can get like 2 of them to overlap, you either have like a hobby or a vocation or a charitable volunteer thing. But if you get all of them to overlap, you have the thing you were made to do.
And
right?
if you could find a circle with something people need, the money, the get paid part is a lot closer. If there's a lot of people need this, like, cool. There's your odds are on your side.
Right.
So,
that's very true.
So there's that process of figuring out what they love to do, and that's a kind of a breadcrumb trail. You can kind of follow that to figure this stuff out. Yeah. And then the other half of it is kind of the mindset, that kind of what you were talking about, of your work ethic and your how you approach getting things done. And that is like the most positive DNA test I have ever seen with our kiddos, because they take things. My wife and I are like type A+, just organized, focused, goal. What's the end? Let's work backwards. Let's just, and hopefully not in a way that's psycho, but, and our kids take.
We would never tell you, by the way. We're afraid of
as long as it is useful to us, we're going to let your dysfunction continue and flourish.
Right.
Not my problem.
Quarterly earnings reports are still good.
Right.
Bro.
That's it.
Keep it up, crazy.
So, our oldest literally last night had a project for the theater department that took him collectively like 15 hours of man-hours of doing this data. And they just take everything so seriously. And I hope it's not from a like, we haven't been withholding approval or anything.
Right.
If I wanted them to be a writer, I certainly would do that. That's, that's how.
Not funny.
Not
you want dinner?
Funny. That's it.
Make jokes.
Yeah. So on that part, I feel like so far so good. They've got a serious work ethic, and they take responsibilities seriously and deadlines seriously. So I'm like, if we can take that and kind of keep exploring here, I feel like we're heading in a good direction, but I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. In a kind of a general thing to tie in what you said, I feel like with my nephews specifically, but with other kids too that I've worked with, is like you see a potential or you see a talent and you're like, oh, I want to help you. I want to help you really foster that and develop that. And it's like, if they ain't feeling it, it's like, well, you get to a point where you're like, if I push any harder on this, it's just going to backfire. And they're going to be like, I don't want that. That's dumb. So you're like, well, okay, fine. You just do whatever. And maybe you can bask in my glory and at some point be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Well, whatever. Maybe not. But yeah, I feel like, how would I say it? The talent, you see it and you're like, cool. You've got that. That work ethic of knowing it's time to do something with this right now.
Yes.
Right. And then the one magic thing that happened today, that's kind of like, all right, it's sort of work ethic related, but it's just more of like let's call it fundamentals, right? This is not about you writing some amazing piece of content. It's about you knowing that the mic needs to be plugged in or you're not doing nothing. The technical fundamentals. So that's what I dealt with today. So they're like, oh yeah, today this is the morning we're gonna knock out the recording of the vocals. And we're like, cool. You got the computer, you got the mic, you got the Pro Tools software, all that. And he's like, actually, what are you doing right now, Uncle? I'm like, I'm going to work. Well, could I come over? What time do you leave? No, I'm getting in the shower. No, this is you. Remember yesterday when we talked about, do you need anything?
Yes.
Do you got the thing? This is me trying to say, have you thought of those elements?
Yeah.
Right?
And
you don't.
My wife's a teacher, so she knows all these kind of developmental, physiological stuff. And basically your brain does not stop growing to like your mid-20s. There is a real reason. Sometimes we call it mushy brain.
Sure.
You're like, partly
Yeah.
on you, partly your big dumb brain is still kind of forming, and it's not all there. But this is a narrow window of time where you've got a little bit, a couple times where you can swing and miss on these, and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
but
this is the time to do that. Yeah.
The other thing, speaking of like small window, and I've tried to communicate this to them, it's like in this little narrow time, if you're somebody who has a dream to do something, and I need to learn about something, there's so many doors that are waiting to be opened for you to just go to somebody and ask to say, can I buy you lunch, or can I hang out with you, or can I do something? And you've got a kid who just wants to learn and see what you do and kind of soak it all in. And not even like an internship. It might just be like a tiny a moment of time with this person. I'm like, you don't understand how much the world, generally speaking, is open to helping somebody who's just starting out, who doesn't know anything, and just kind of wants to learn and soak it all up. I'm like, don't underestimate that. Don't let that opportunity pass you by. Ask folks about that.
That's such good advice. I think so often, especially the younger folks these days, talk about gatekeeping and all of that. And there is an element of clickiness in a lot of creative fields, and a lot of gatekeeping. People who have, let's call it a scarcity mindset, and I don't want to tell you what I know because then you might steal my thing. Well, man, if I can steal your thing and you didn't really have your thing, it's not how great I am. It's about you having a bad attitude, right? But you're 100% right, especially those who have been around for a while and they've done their thing. They got their prizes, their awards, and their cash. A lot of those folks are pretty open to if you come to them with a genuine like, hey, how did you do what you do? A lot of those folks will totally talk to you about that.
Yeah, and at this stage though, because like once you get into early career, I think less so, right?
Yeah,
if you are just
right.
pure noob, green, you don't know anything from anything. They're like, I'll impart some wisdom, but if you're early in your career and you're like, well, hold on now, you're a potential competitor, right or wrong, and so many times you come across things that are unfair, and you're like, well, look, let's just take it as a given as that's how the world works. Don't burn any calories going, I wish that. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. Unfair. Like, okay, well, there's a lot of unfairness. But the question is this not fair or unfair? The question is, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Ride the horse in the direction it's going.
Yeah.
You're like, given this, now how are you going to calibrate to account for that?
That's it.
So there you go. School counselor out.
Yeah, yet again, we have solved the world's problem.
Yes, so easy. All right. Yeah, everybody should drop their career questions to us in the comments. Let your buddies Matthew, Jeremy,
we'll help you out.
Yes,
We'll point you in the right direction.
The future is coding.
Oh my Lord,
it's not. Don't do that.
Listen, my mom. I give my mom a lot of credit for that kind of mindset. in me. She totally asked all of us coming up in, like getting into high school. Like just to date myself, my first job was delivering papers.
Wow.
Slinging like paperboy on the, on my
man.
10
Did you wear the little derby cap?
Wasn't
Extra.
the 1920s, Matthew.
Did you sell apples on the corner, Jeremy?
God, yes, totally right. Extra. No, but it was the 1980s. Yes, that was a long. I know.
Wow. Late 20th century.
That's the worst.
I don't want to carbon date myself, but
but anyways, that was my first job, as like middle school and
awesome.
And whatever. But got into high school and my mom kind of asked, like, what do you want to do? And I just I don't know what possessed me, but I literally said, I want to be a DJ on the radio. And her answer was, well, we're living in this little town in Idaho, but we have a station. Go down there and tell them you want to learn what they do.
Yeah.
And you'll sweep the floors
Yes.
and whatever for free if someone will just kind of.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, well, that's dumb and that's insane, but I got nothing else going on. And I freaking did it.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And what's crazy is just the sheer audacity of that. Would that have gotten me in there? Maybe, maybe not. But what did happen was, we were active in our church. And our church had done some stuff with a different church, So, you start to know some of the other folks in the community because of that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I show up, I do an interview with, the station manager, and he's, asking me the serious questions you'd ask a 16-year-old.
Yes.
Like, oh, so what are you going to, I don't know, you have no experience, okay? And in the background, a guy walks by, and he's like, oh, hey, Jeremy, how you doing? And I'm like, hey, Bill. And it was a guy that I knew, like, I don't know what our two churches we had done some Christmas production or something together, and we worked together, and he knew me in the context of, either playing or singing or being on the tech team doing something. And this guy vouched for me. He's like, yeah, man, Jeremy's a good guy. We should do something. And I got an offer right there. So all of that is to say, yeah, you never know. Sometimes you can just walk into a place and say, hey, I'm into this. You can't be like, hey, I want a job, I want to make money. But you can, if you're actually into it, you
and
just never know.
That goes to the thing of like, oh, man, so much is just how people it's relationships. You're like, well, you could bemoan that, but it is never going to change.
Yeah.
It's always people wanting to mitigate risk by looking for where there's pre-existing trust. So you're like, you can shake your little man fist, or you can go, hey, I'm going to need to meet people. I'm going to need to make friends who can't help me right now, but we're helping each other. And you get on with it. I have to say, story I love talking about getting out there. I'll work for free. I'll pay my dues. My late father-in-law taught himself coding. This would have been in, 60s or something or other. Dropped out of college to learn coding, do all this stuff, and wanted to get hired at Xerox. And they're like, you don't have a college degree. He goes, here's what I suggest. You hire me for 50% of the rate for 6 months.
Wow.
And I will work at 50% of what my salary should be for 6 months. And if at the end I don't measure up, then that's that.
Sure.
You got a good deal. But if I meet muster, 100%.
Right.
And you hire me and you pay the same amount
that
you would for a college graduate.
Yeah.
Short story, they hired him. He worked there for decades, to the point where at the end they did like a forced retirement thing because they were shrinking that office, and they let him go. And he's like, well, I'm retirement age. Okay. And a very short time later, they're like, hey, Jerry, the guys they don't know how to, we don't know we need you to come back.
No.
Can we pay you an obscene amount of money
ridiculous
to work for
consulting money
for a year and a half to get him? And he's like, yeah, yes, you can.
Yes, you may. Wow.
But that goes to a job, personal skill quality that will never go off trend, which is having entrepreneurial spirit. A self-starter, you go happen to things. Things don't happen to you.
Yeah.
And you got that or you don't got that. I mean, put it this way, a boss can't impart that into you. You pick that up in your growing up years, influenced by, and you could develop it, but nobody can say, go watch this video and that'll explain. You've got to have that self-starter, problem-solving, let's figure this out kind of mojo.
Yeah.
And that's going to take you a lot of places. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yes. This is Career Corner, and you're welcome. Is it time for my topic?
Oh, sure.
There's no transition, so.
No.
I mean, the last episode, I really ham-handed the transition.
Like,
yeah.
It was funny.
It was, and if you listen on the podcast, you heard it. And then if you watch it on YouTube, though, I'm like, John, would you do this for me? Would you do the Batman TV show transition?
Yeah, this is really funny.
So, showing the strings here, but I just couldn't live with myself how sucky that was. So, we talked a couple episodes ago about influences. We talked about people who influenced us.
Yeah.
What about books? I would be curious to know, were there any books, maybe top 3, and it doesn't have to be top 3, because this is the top of your head, so we won't hold you to it.
Great.
But what writing influenced the mind of a Jeremy Birdsall? And I have a couple of them. You have a couple of them.
Well, if I can lead with one, because if this is
you
on
can't
your
say
list,
the Bible. Can't say the Bible.
Nope.
Sorry, church kid.
Wow. Not going to say the Bible. I have to say this because if this is on your list, I want credit first.
All right.
The Lord of the Rings.
I didn't write that one down.
Great.
LOTR. Yeah, I loved that they made a book from those movies because they were so good.
The movies were really... So here's what I will say about The Lord of the Rings. I've read a bunch of books, and my parents taught us early on... Well, I don't want to say taught us. They bought the books and said, read these, dummies. And they were like this... There was like this children's series of, I don't know who published them. I'm sure we could find it, but it was like Robinson Crusoe and Three Musketeers and
classic
Man
adventure.
in the Iron Mask. All that all of those very, very classic, like you said, classic books. And I loved all of those.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I was immersed in all of those. But Lord of the Rings is maybe for sure the first, and maybe still the onlyest, but the one where I always, when I read it to the very end, I read all the way through the appendixes and the maps. And it left me with such a warm feeling. That's the best way to describe it. It just felt so like the denouement of tying up a story ain't never been tied like the Return of the King ties it up, man. All the goods got good, all the bads got batted. It's,
it's there.
Everybody that was even mentioned or hinted or intimated at, what happened to them and their kids and their kids' kids. And it's like, okay.
All right.
So as far as like story or lore goes and like having a reason for a world being, I don't know that there's ever been
one. You can't
one.
top that.
No, I don't know that you can. And that's my personal anecdotal evidence of why is when I read it, I feel so connected to that world and immersed in that world that I just, like, I want more, and I don't want it to be over to the point where I'm just like, that's it. That's the last. Oh,
that's
okay.
it.
That's the map. All right. Anyways, for easily the number one, Lord.
Classic. I will say for my first one, On the Road, Jack Kerouac.
Wow.
And it's one of those where certain books have to cross your path at a certain time in your life. If you came across the beat writers in middle age, it won't be the same. It won't be bad, but that feeling of, he just captures the feeling of being young and just on fire. And just you're just in love. You're just drunk in love with the world. It's everything is new and exciting and possible. There's a poem. It says, "To be young is to burn without reprieve on the hot coals of almost soon and hope." It just captures that.
Wow.
And I don't know if it would connect today for youth in the same way, but in early 20s for me, I came across that and I was like, oh, that's me, man. It's so, and it's really cool thing is that Jack Kerouac actually lived in Orlando, Winter Park area, just down the road from us for a time.
No.
So he wrote a book called The Dharma Bums while he lived there.
No way.
And there's the Jack Kerouac house, which has been preserved. I know, right? And you're like, how cool would it be to write something there in the house where Jack Kerouac lived? So that's one for me.
I love that.
Yes.
That's very, very good. Very good one.
What else?
Okay. So I do have two others that I can quickly grab from my knowledge here. One is like from the classic literature that I sort of mentioned. I loved so many of those, but the one that's always stood out to me,
Nancy Drew.
Yes,
I knew it.
The Babysitter Chronicles. What are they called?
Babysitter's Club.
Yeah, that's
like,
the one.
Don't you get the subtext of capitalism versus? You don't get it. You don't get it.
Don't even know. The Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay. Fan of the sandwich, but tell me more about. And I've seen the film.
Well, the film is great.
Yes.
To me, it's okay. Yeah, it's a revenge story, but it's a good versus evil. It's triumph over adversity beyond. Like if you're ever trying to impart the idea of grit and tenacity into a kid. Like, here's a guy wrongfully imprisoned and, like, has to claw his way out through just full strategy and diligence every single day to figure out how to break out of prison and then basically, come back and right the wrongs of the world. And it's, it's a very simple, not one-liner, but you know what I mean. There's not a lot of subtext in this. It's pretty much like, this is a decent dude who's kind of young and dumb and learns real quick that the world is bad and how are you going to be surviving in this, and learns to be very savvy and then ends up doing a lot of good things. I don't know. I as a young man was very impacted by that. I thought it was a pretty neat.
That's good.
Neat thing.
That's good. There's very primal. I look for that stories of like survival or revenge. It's very, I don't know, primal.
It's
just gets
very
to the,
simple.
To the
it's
guts.
not too nuanced, but exactly very very to the guts.
That's cool.
Good.
I will say for my second one, this is not fiction. I didn't put that category on it, so influential. The War of Art. So that's a terse little, chapters are very small sometimes. It's just about, hey man, there's something you need to be working on, and you're resisting working on it. Here's why, and you need to get at it. It's very direct. It does not fancy anything up or talk down to you. It's like a coach of just kind of grabbing you by the shoulders. Right. Let's go. It just, that's great. It just kicks your butt, and it's like, right. I'm doing all these things to avoid the real work that I know I should be doing. It's one that you can kind of revisit once a year. And it's kind of in that very short list of books in my category of like, I am looking for extra copies to go, hey, this is yours now.
I was just,
I'm going to put this in your hands.
I love that.
As is my next one as well. Check that out. Not from a Christian point of view that I'm aware of. He delves into some weird, it's in certain passages of like, where did you go to Greek gods but what is valuable is still valuable.
Right.
You could very easily separate that from the like.
I will say that. I have not read that. And
Oh.
so now I have to put that on my list. So
Yeah.
again, to avoid doing the work I need to do, I'm going to go read this book. And
Yes.
it's going to remind me, hey, you need to be doing something.
And I'll put links in the. We'll put
Oh, that's
links,
great.
Yeah, in
I
the
love
show
it.
notes, so you can go.
Smart.
Oh, yep. Boom. Add it to the cart. All right. What's your third one?
My third one is also a nonfiction.
Yes.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay.
Robert Kiyosaki.
I've heard about it for years. Have never read it.
Okay. So the basic gist of it is fundamentally understanding the difference, well, that we may use the terms rich and poor incorrectly.
Okay.
Right? And so basically Robert Kiyosaki is he grew up in Hawaii, Japanese American family, and basically his dad was a college professor, and his best friend growing up, his dad was an entrepreneur. And so in the world they came up in whatever that was, the 50s and and 60s, his dad was a rich guy. He's a college professor, upper middle income, whatever. And his best friend's dad was the poor guy because, well, he's working for himself and he's just always hustling and whatever. And the point of the book is he's like, eventually I learned I had that completely wrong.
Wow.
Because my dad was working for the man, and the best thing he could figure out is to save some of his money that he got from his one job, which was a university, and maybe retire one day and maybe pass something on to his kids. But that was the entirety of the plan. The other guy was a serial entrepreneur, and he failed a lot. But failure is a great teacher if you're paying attention. And this guy basically became a multi-millionaire, and then also taught his kids, both his actual kid and then the neighbor, who is Robert Kiyosaki. He learned real quick. He's like, wait a minute, this guy's doing something, and I can see a difference in the mindset. So anyways, I will just go ahead and, a little bit of a spoiler. He doesn't tell you how to make money.
I'm out.
I know. Exactly. Screw it. I want to get rich quick.
It's better to have money. Thank you. I figured that.
Been poor. I've been rich. Rich is better.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
But it's the mindset.
It's the mindset that, and one of the best pieces in the chapter. First of all, the best one is rich and poor is not what you think it is. But the next one is debt is not what you think it is. Debt is not evil. It's the idea that if you have to get a car loan to buy a car, that's probably bad because that's a depreciating asset. The minute you drive it off the lot, it's worth less than it was 5 minutes ago.
Right.
And now you're paying interest, which means by definition, you're paying more than you said you would for a thing that is now worth less than it said it would. That's not a good thing. But if you can get a loan to buy a car that you then rent out,
right,
and then it's paying for the car note plus a little bit, now what you have is, some income. That debt allowed you to get that income. Without that debt, you wouldn't have the car to make that money. So if you're using debt to buy assets that bring money back to you, that is actually a really good thing. But you can't just be like, well, debt is good then. That's not what it means. It means you got to look at what you're doing, but you can use it to buy things that actually put money in your pocket. So I think that was the most valuable thing I got from that, is to reframe how I look at debt and that it can actually be a really, really powerful, good thing. Because the truth is, anybody who's a billionaire in this world, who's got like ridiculous money, they very much know exactly what that means. It's how to utilize the idea of an asset and the promise of money that doesn't exist into turning it into a physical thing. It's a weird way to think. But anyways, I highly recommend that book just to change how you think about money and how to use debt really to actually do something. So it's pretty cool.
Bonus recommendation, just based on thinking about money, is it Richest Man in Babylon? Have you heard of that? Terrific book, timeless book, talking about just mindset with money and everything.
That is a great book.
My third one, Wild at Heart. John Eldredge. That came out a little bit before I got married and bought copies for all of my groomsmen. And in subsequent years, we've had him on the C. Brown, et cetera, talk radio show that we're both a part of. I got to interview him there, which was amazing. I got to have a conversation with him relating to a project I was developing. Super nice, generous guy. I love his writing. I love the way he thinks, and massively influential book on a whole generation of guys. So yeah, that's definitely one worth checking out, I think. Very cool.
Totally agreed. I love that book.
Yeah. Have we done 6 of them? Have we done them all?
I think that was it.
Love it.
That was 3 and 3.
Boy, we're just like, we're giving career guidance. We're giving book recommendations. Can we get a grant or something here? I think we're doing the Lord's work here.
It's really, we should have been doing this for a long time.
I know, dude. Well, that's awesome. Hey, I do have a moment of rad. But before we get to that, I want to thank Key Life, keylife.org. Thank you for letting us do this here show. A lot of good things happening. I'll point out one of them, keylife.org/podcast network. We're a little tiny part of this little ecosystem of podcasts that are related to folks who get grace and all this kind of good stuff. There's Pete Allenson. Pete Allenson does amazing men's ministry stuff. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people per week. Guys are kind of learning how to be successful as a man. Guys named David Johnson and Chris Walker do something called Red Tree Pod. That's worth checking out. Andrew Farley, the Grace Message, great Bible teacher. He does like live radio shows every single day, every single night. So Kyle Winkler is I think he's a millennial, another Bible teacher. Listen, if nothing else, they turned us on to avocado toast, and they were right.
That's true. They brought us avocado.
We
toast.
owe you
That's
more,
true.
and seltzer water. Don't forget.
That's true. They own LaCroix. That's true.
I was wrong about it. I was wrong. You were right. So thank you, millennials. He has a show called The Shut Up Devil Show, which I love.
That's fun.
And Carl Kreisman, historian, author. He has 2 podcasts on Key Life Podcast Network. One's called Unmoored. It has to do with American history, and one called Uncovered, which is talking about the historicity of the Bible and like why should we believe it. So it's taking a look at the Bible, back out all the religious kind of parts. How does it stand up as a historical document? So, yeah, and we're hanging out with all these people in this little ecosystem. So check that out for sure. keylife.org/podcast.
Is not like the other.
One of these things is here because somebody hasn't watched it yet.
Pew.
We're gonna have a good time until we get to there, though.
That's right.
Plausible deniability. All right. On Moment of Rad, we've done a lot of music stuff. We've done a lot of pop culture stuff. Speaking of history, I've got a little historical nugget for you.
Oh.
I don't know if you know the story. If you do, tell me after the show, because I need to just live in the moment where I'm bringing this to you, dropping a bomb on you.
Okay, so I got to.
All right, yep.
Got to prepare myself.
Okay. So check this out.
Okay.
Let's go back in time. It's 1863, 64, 65. We don't know for sure, but somewhere in that little range of time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a young man, early 20s, named Robert Todd Lincoln. You may have heard that last name. He is the son of then President Abraham Lincoln. He's on a crowded train platform, and he slips and falls towards the tracks, and the train is kind of like taking off, and he's not going to be good. Hand thrusts down, grabs him by the collar, pulls him back up, saves his life from being killed in a horrible way by one of these trains. The man who saved his life, named Edwin Booth, the older brother.
Bull crap!
John
I say
Wilkes
lies.
Booth.
No,
that's what I thought too. And
lies. This has to be one. No,
I did not just look like, hey, that's cool. Read it. I poked and I prodded and I looked. This is a legitimate thing that happened.
John Wilkes Booth's brother saved Abraham Lincoln's son's life.
Correct. And very shortly before the assassination happened, at max maybe 2 or 3 years prior, and possibly the same year. This happened. He was assassinated in April of 1865. So at the earliest, this story, people are putting it at like 63. So this was written about by Robert Todd Lincoln in at the earliest I could find, the Boston Morning Journal covered it in November of 1893. It was also in a thing called the Century magazine. So this is not just Edwin Booth, John Wilkes, 5 years, John Wilkes Booth Sr., and they were both actors, and isn't that wild?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. No, I had okay. Yeah. No,
See?
this is a genuine reaction.
We're covering history and careers and literature. Bonkers, man.
Completely whack.
Very contrasting to some of our previous episodes. So
No, this is
just remember this. When we're like, "Who is your favorite Smurf?" You're like, "Listen, you gotta understand. These guys have moments of
right. Yeah,
fleeting though they may be.
Sometimes we're right off a nap, and we're just very lucid at that moment." That was outstanding. Thank you for that.
Yes.
I need to do my AI moment for you before everything passes by.
All right.
I know you did. I know you forgot.
I did forget it.
This is very brief, but this is very informative.
All right.
It's very simple, very informative for random people who should know. A simple hand movement was enough to break a real-time deep fake. During a live video call, a cybersecurity researcher was asked the person on the other end of the video call to hold up 3 fingers in front of their face. The moment the hand crossed the face, the illusion broke with visible glitches, revealing the video was not real. The clip comes from work shared by Huntress, where this researcher and others investigate online scams and impersonation tactics. The caller was likely using a real-time deepfake to appear as someone else and build trust during a financial-related conversation. The trick works because many deepfake systems struggle when something is blocking the face. When a hand moves across it, the model can lose track of what should be real, causing the distortions. The researchers also warn this is not a long-term fix.
Yeah.
Newer systems are improving at handling movement and overlap, which means simple tests may not work for long.
The T1000 is...
That's right.
Yes, yeah. It's
That's
superior to the T800.
That's exactly it. So for today, if you're ever in a video situation and somebody's trying to, just say, hey, whatever, can you... And
flash up a gang sign.
Yeah, and just see what they'll do, and pay attention. So,
all right.
Yeah, that was random.
Little word of warning, little advice from Uncle Jeremy.
That's what I do.
Fauci out there in the cyber wilderness. So, all right, look after yourself out there, people, and thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.